All right, Algebra Video 2 coming at you on Lesson 6.4 on geometric sequences. I think we have a couple word problems to take a look at to finish out this video. All right, so it says, the number of subscribers to a blog doubles each week. How can the trend in subscribers be modeled, right? So when you see this word doubles, right, what that is trying to tell you is that the common ratio is 2. That's what that means, right? Every week, you're multiplying the previous week by 2. All right, so we are going to use the explicit formula, which is a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1 to model this number of subscribers. Now over here, in the first week we had 5 subscribers. That means that a sub 1 is 5. So a sub n equals, a sub 1 is 5, parentheses 2 raised to the n minus 1. And there's your formula. And that means for any week, we could plug in an n value and get the number of subscribers for that week. Okay, next. All right, it says the number of people attending the annual Town International Food Festival has decreased 20% each year since the first year. How can the attendance for the first 5 years be modeled? Okay, so let's take a look at here. If we want to figure out, right, how can the attendance for the first 5 years be modeled, right, we're going to use what's called the recursive formula. Because if you want the first couple, you can just take the previous term and use the recursive formula to find the next term. Okay, so that's why, you know, if the number of years you want to find is small, use the recursive formula. Okay, now we have to go back to this idea of decay, if you remember. So if we are decreasing by 20%, if you remember that decay factor from, I think, section or lesson 6.2, it was 1 minus r, and remember r was that rate that you're decreasing at. Well, this means decrease 20%, that means your r is 0.20. But because we're decreasing, we're going to subtract it from 1. So 1 minus 0.20 is 0.80, 80%. So what this means that every time you're only getting 80% of the previous number of people, right? So if you multiply, or if your common ratios is a number less than 1, you're going to keep getting smaller and smaller, okay? So here's my recursive formula. A sub n equals the common ratio r times a sub n minus 1. And then again, they want you to identify what a sub 1 is. Well, a sub 1 is given to you right here, right? This is the amount last year. So 1250 is going to be our a sub 1, okay? And then our recursive formula is going to be a sub n equals, our common ratio is 0.80 times a to the n minus 1. And that would be the way that we could find the next, or the first 5 years. So the first year is 1250. You'd plug in 1250 here and multiply by 0.8. That would give you the next year, and so on and so on. Okay, last problem. It says, okay, if the trend continues, what will be the attendance in 10 years? So now because they want 10 years, right, they want n to be 10, let's go ahead and use the explicit formula. Because now we want to jump straight to year 10, right? So remember, the explicit formula looks like so. A sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. Well, this is the same problem as before, so our rate, or our common ratio, is still 0.80, and our first year attendance is 1250 still. So just plug it in. So a sub n equals 1250 times 0.80 to the n minus 1. This is our general explicit formula. And now if I want to find the attendance in year 10, let's just go and plug in 10 for n. So a sub 10 equals 1250 times 0.80 to the 10 minus 1. Now, of course, 10 minus 1 is 9. And I'm going to go into Desmos, and we're going to do this together. 1250 times 0.80 raised to the 9th. 1250 times 0.80 Caret button, shift. So shift 6, raise to the 9th. And there I go. All right, so I'm going to round to the nearest whole person. So if this is 6, 7, the 7 makes this 7 become an 8. So we have a sub 10 is 168. So that means in year 10, there were 168 people at the concert, right? So you can see how attendance goes down, right? It goes from 1250 that first year all the way down to 168. So I feel bad that the International Food Festival is not getting much traction. All right, so somebody's got to come step it up and bring a new food truck in there. Anywho, all right, so that's geometric sequences. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in class.